So we're going to now look at another characteristic of polynomial functions, and that is the degree of the function, which we have already looked at, and the leading coefficient. So the definition of a leading coefficient of a polynomial expression is the coefficient, that's the number in front of the term with the highest exponent. So that number in front is what we call the leading coefficient. The degree is the highest power of the exponent. So the highest power of the x, the variable. Example, state the degree and leading coefficient of the following polynomial. So here's three polynomials, and we have to just state the leading coefficient, which I sometimes use LC to describe the leading coefficient, so I don't have to write that big word out every time. So in order to find the leading coefficient, we first have to find the highest power of x. Now sometimes they're not written in order, and this would be one of them. Oh, there it is. X to the 6th is the highest power. So the leading coefficient will be the number in front of that power. So x to the 6th is the highest power. 5, positive 5 then, is going to be the leading coefficient, and the degree will be that highest power, which in this case is 6. Now, if they're all written out like that, expanded and simplified, it's very easy to find the leading coefficient and the degree. But sometimes they give it to us in what we call factored form, i.e. it's been factored already. It's harder to find the largest coefficient, or the largest exponent this way. So we really, I mean, obviously I don't want to multiply that all out. That's quite a job. I'd have to multiply these two out, simplify, then multiply it out, and then simplify it just to find the highest term. I don't want all of the terms, I just want the highest power. But since it's three things multiplied together, if I take the highest term, the highest powered term in each bracket and multiply it together, then that is definitely going to be the highest term overall. So for example, in this one, 2x is the higher of the two in that bracket. 1x is the higher power of the two terms in that bracket, and x again to the power of 1 is the highest in that bracket. So if I were to multiply those highest terms together, I would get, and I'd have to do the coefficients too, so 2 times 1 times 1, 2x cubed. That's going to be my highest powered term. There'll be some other terms too, but in terms of the degree and the coefficient, the leading coefficient, I don't really care about those other terms. I really only care about the highest powered term. So for sure the degree is going to be 3, because that's the highest power, and the number in front of it will be, the leading coefficient will equal 2. Okay, we're going to do the same thing with this one. All right, so again, it's in factored form, so we have to think about what would be the highest power if we were to multiply them out. Well, 5x is the highest term in that bracket, multiplied by 2x, which would be the highest power in that bracket, and x, which would be the highest power in that bracket. So all of that, when I multiply all three of those together, I'm still also going to multiply it by this number in the front. So the highest powered term will be negative 4 times 5, which is negative 20, times 2, which is negative 40, negative 40, and then x times x times x, which will be x cubed. So the degree will be the highest power, so my degree will be 3, and my leading coefficient, I had to multiply all those numbers together, negative 40.